The minnows of San Marino were shooed off, weren't they? They were dispatched with a real style by Gareth Southgate's side last night. Harry Kane scored 4 goals, moved up to third in England's all-time scoring charts as England booked their plane ticket for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar next November. 10 goals scored for the first time by the Three Lions since 1964. Danny Mills, we expected England to win. We expected England to win well. But you can still take it as a chance to impress. Who impressed you last night? Oh, you're pulling a face.
Well, no, because
Jude Bellingham must have impressed you, no?
he did what I expected him to do. They approached it with a very, very good attitude. You can only lose in those games from that type of performance because everybody expects you to play well. Everyone expects you to dominate. No one expects you to give the ball away.
People don't expect you to play well, do they? They expect you to win.
No, they expect you to play well. You're talking about San Marino. You're talking about part-time. You're talking about some of the world's best players playing in the best league in the world, supposedly world class, playing against part-timers.
I don't care it was San Marino. I just thought England played well.
Well, but you expect them to play well in that. They are markedly better than the opposition, so they are going to dominate the ball.
You can still move it with a purpose.
Well, so this is what I'm saying. So the attitude, but that should be mandatory.
But it's not always mandatory, is it?
Well, that's when you have a go at them and you say that they failed and they haven't approached it in the right manner and all the rest of it. So expectations were that England would play well, they would approach it with the right attitude, and they did. If they don't do that, then they're going to get a bit of criticism for it. Sadly, it's one of those games where you can't really win because if you win 6-7-0, you're supposed to. All you can do in those games is lose. Not lose the game, but lose in terms of respect for the performance effectively. Tough games to play in sometimes.
Goal in the FA Cup, Danny, at Adams Park. Wickham, Hartlepool, Ian Abrahams.
21 gone. Shock on here. Wickham 0, Hartlepool 1. It was a good ball in from the left-hand side by David Ferguson. It fell to the feet of Mark Cullen, 8 yards out, shifted it onto his right foot and bent it into the far corner beyond David Stockdale. League 1, Wickham 0. League 2, Hartlepool 1.
Moose, thank you very much. Touched on it, a purpose to England. I mean, the average age of that England squad was just 23 last night. I think it's the youngest squad ever under Southgate.
Average age of a World Cup winning squad, Euros winning squad, 27.5. So I think quite a decent footballer and a wise pundit once said you don't win anything with kids. He was sort of proven wrong when half the Man United team had come through the system, but it was splattered with vastly experienced, very, very good professionals, in that team. It wasn't all the kids that won it, and that's what you need. You need a balance. But you've got to have experience, and this is why when Gareth took over, took over the lower age groups. He was very adamant about you have to do well at under 17s, under 18s, under 20s, under 21s. Because players need the experiences. And if you go back and look at sort of the German model, which we tried to copy,
we did.
And it's been, let's be honest, the German model has been pretty successful and going deep into tournaments for many, many years, decades. You have to get to quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, then maybe another semi-final, then you go on and win it. And then you maybe do a quarterfinal. You might get knocked out, but then you do a quarterfinal, semi-final, final, then you win it. You have to go through these stages of understanding what it's like to win tournament football. You very rarely go with a squad from just getting knocked out in the round of 16 to suddenly winning it. Football doesn't quite happen like that, especially winning major tournaments. Look at the Champions League. Manchester City have never won it. They're building all the time. And each year they're thinking, right, okay, we've got a bit more experience. PSG, the same. Some of the world's best players in those squads haven't managed to win it because you have to go through that process of getting to the final, getting to semi-finals, getting knocked out and then going again.
Well, under Gareth Southgate, World Cup semi-final, Nations League semi-final, Euros final.
Sack him, clearly. Is what people want.
Is this England's golden generation, Danny? They are getting further and delivering more than what came before.
What's a golden generation?
A golden generation is progression and getting as close to silverware success as possible.
Silver generation, then.
Well, maybe
because
this is the silver generation. And
the last golden generation didn't win anything, and that's the problem, isn't it? That golden generation.
So is this the golden generation?
I don't like that label. It's a very good group of players. It's a fabulously exciting group of players, very, very talented, young, still with a lot to learn, still a lot of improvements to be made, and they are growing and developing all the time. You're not at your peak until you are 26, 27. That's why players of that ilk start to win Champions League, start to win, on average, World Cups, Euros. When you look at the players now and the players going into what will be 2022, as opposed to the squad of 2004...
Yeah. How many would get in?
2 or 3.
Do you honestly believe that? I mean, I know you've got... I
asked
that question knowing he's wrote it down.
Without
already.
a shadow of a doubt. So, Seaman over Pickford.
I think that's fair.
I mean, David was incredible for many. So solid. Unbelievable goalkeeper.
Texas 8-10-89 with your assessment on Danny's
So
shout.
you've then got a choice. Let's go Gary Neville or Kyle Walker.
I think Kyle.
Yeah, I'll take Kyle Walker. I don't disagree with that. That's not a problem. Centre halves. Got a choice of 5 here. Ledley King, Jamie Carragher, Sol Campbell, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand. Any 2?
John Stones and Harry Maguire.
Over John Stones and Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay, no argument.
Ashley Cole.
Let's leave it at that. Ashley Cole, without a shadow of a doubt. Best back in the world, bar none at that time. Off the charts. Midfield, Holder-ish. Steven Gerrard. Anyone better than him? No.
I think Declan Rice.
Is he better than Steven Gerrard?
No, I'm saying he might get into that midfield though.
What, ahead of Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes?
I think you could play 2 of the 04 lot and Declan Rice sitting deepest, yeah.
So you leave Gerrard out?
I'd play Gerrard and Scholes and Rice.
So you'd leave Lampard out?
Yes.
The amount of goals that he scored for England.
But I think Declan Rice has been a revelation.
But I mean, so
it's an interesting debate.
Well, the 2 subs in that, Owen Hargreaves, Champions League winner.
Yeah,
was exceptional. People forget about that. Right wing, David Beckham. Up front, Rooney and Owen.
Does Harry Kane get in ahead of those 2? Does Raheem Sterling, his level of performance for England, get in ahead of?
And you've even got players like Joe Cole, Joe Cole was a very, very talented player.
So why have this group got far closer to going all the way than that group did?
Because I think it's more of it's a team. We talk about that club mentality and how Gareth has brought them together, and they play as a team. They're more understanding. They're for whatever. They're young, they're hungry, but Gareth has blended them, and Gareth is picking the right team. Gareth doesn't always pick the best players. And that's been labelled at England managers in the past. Look at what he did during the Euros, where he changed the team against Germany, and everyone went, I'm not sure that's if we lose this, he's getting fired. Got it right. Against Croatia, nobody saw that coming with the 2 fullbacks and the way that he changed that round and played, obviously, Kieran Trippier at left back. Nobody saw that coming either. Got it right. So he's prepared to make big decisions and leave out sometimes what we assume as the better players.
So is international football weaker now than it was back in 04-06, you think? The standard, the quality,
I think to
the player?
I think to an extent, yes, is the answer. Harry Kane is unbelievable goal scorer. Magnificent. I think Wayne Rooney's a far better player. If I had the choice to play against either of them, I would pick Harry Kane all day long. Rooney had so much more in his locker than Harry Kane has got. Pace, power. I think it was just a better player, and I think it was harder to score when Rooney was playing. You'd get kicked off the park more often than not. It was very, very physical.
His level and will surpass probably the next time he pulls on an England shirt, Gary Lineker. Yeah, for goals.
Gary Lineker was an unbelievable goal scorer. Outstanding, but again, I just think
is Harry Kane better than Rooney or Owen? But surely Harry Kane gets in alongside one of them if you're picking a team.
He's there or thereabouts.
Yeah,
but I'm playing Rooney. Rooney on form was sensational, and I think it was much harder to score when Rooney was playing coming through because the physicality was so much different. You also have to look at the amount of penalties and free kicks that you get. Look at the penalty last night. There was a fingernail on the ball. You don't get that.
Part of the hand.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Rooney would have never got that opportunity to take that penalty. It was never been given as a penalty. Half the free kicks that you get given, that you get to whip into the box, wouldn't have been given. So there weren't as many chances created, for that reason.